Okay, this is new. There's something new called portraits? Go to Cactuar and go portraits, and then it's like, what the heck is this? Healer. Nah. Tank. Journal, aetherical, activate motion? I don't like that outfit though. Now we completed our adventure plate. This is what our adventure plate looks like. Pretty cool, doesn't it? So going to the Rising Stones. Tataru, how you doing? What's this? Tataru's putting on a proof pot of tea. It looks like we need company. Lovely to see you. If you're not in too much of a rush, I was about to make a pot of tea. Would you like a cup? Sigurden, I'll find us something to nibble on as well.
It's so much quieter these days without everyone around. Not that I'm pining for your return, you understand. I have my sources, and I know that each and every one of you is doing well and keeping busy with your endeavors. Meanwhile, I'm left with a surplus of free time and the question of how to make the most of it. What about you? Any plans for the immediate future?
A grand new adventure, of course.
Traveling to the edge of existence and back wasn't enough? Well, if that's the case, I might have a suggestion for you.
Come on, the edge of existence is nothing compared to me. I'm way better than the edge of existence.
You fought bravely and selflessly, helping those in need and saving our star from unimaginable threats. For your deeds, you've been hailed as the champion of Eorzea and a host of other incredible things. But why not put those titles aside for a while? Acquit yourself as a simple adventurer again and travel the world in search of wonder.
Right, who knows what mysteries are still waiting to be discovered. That's a great idea, but where to start?
Oh, with so many exciting places to choose from, it's hard to narrow it down. But I believe I have the perfect destination in mind. Thavnair. That's where you should go next. I doubt you were able to squeeze in a proper tour of Radzat the last time you were there. What with the burning skies and rampaging monsters and so forth. And I'm sure Vritra would be pleased to see you. Then there's the bounty itself. The Empire's presence in the region was always a deterrent to exploration. So if you've a mind to sail that sea, now's your chance. Just think of all the new experiences you could have.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? As the bearer of Azem's crystal, you may consider your duty to see at least that much.
Oh, I know that look. That's an adventurer ready to take on the world. In anticipation of an occasion like this, I was planning to gift you a new set of traveling clothes, but it's still a work in progress. Shouldn't take much longer now though, so sit tight and I'll have the last few bits sewn up before you can finish another cup of tea.
Make sure it has pockets.
Stitch in here and trim in there. Knot the threads with love and care. Just a little more to go. I'm sure you're still brimming with excitement. I'm one with the needle. See how the fabric surrenders to my whims. Don't worry. I'll make sure the lining has plenty of pockets for all your little treasures. I swear adventurers are worse than children when it comes to hoarding every feather and leaf and animal hide they come across. Oh, we mustn't forget the waterproofing. Gods forbid you forget to disrobe before plunging into the sea, or a river, or a piping hot bath.
Okay, that's ominous. Pretty spooky. What is that cloud thingy?
Ah, you're awake. My apologies. I do get a little carried away with my sewing. You seem awfully cheerful. Pleasant dream? Or are you just looking forward to the next chapter of your grand saga? Either way, I promise to provide you with new apparel, and so I shall. If you'll accompany me to the Diamond Forge, we can put the finishing touches on your outfit. Shall we?
Speak of Cactuar with the Diamond Forge. Uh-huh. To go to the Diamond Forge. Where's that? Over there, okay. Service the actress refines her piece into a masterpiece. And no napping this time, I only need a moment, you'll see. Okay. A little room in the shoulder, open the cuffs, a final adjustment to the hem. Okay. Hold on, let's see how it looks on the mannequin. I don't know. There's no color to it though. I'm so glad you approve. You've outdone yourself, Tataru. Thank you. So what do I owe you? Let's what do I owe you, Tataru? Don't be able to see your approval is payment enough. I don't like it. What if I don't like it though, Tataru? Yeah, have you thought about that? If you really want to attack me though, all I need ask is that you wear this. No. I don't like the outfit. But look at you, famous hero, and wonder, where did you purchase those stylish particled garments? Before you know it, hordes of new customers will be climbing over each other to place orders at Taru's boutique. I don't like the color though. Can we change the color? Ah, I can hear it now. The merry clink of gil overflowing from my coffers. Sweet music to my ears. Alright, sure. Ah, the burgeoning merchant empires arise. You must be excited to start a fresh chapter of your life. New place to go, new people to meet. I often wonder how you remember all of your experiences and exploits without taking at least a few notes. Well, maybe you should start doing just that. You never know when some odd past detail might become relevant. Or if one day you'll take a blow to the head. Forget the better part of the past decade. Something to keep in mind. Yes, I'll keep that. I'll keep everything in mind. Collection expanded. The unending codex. Final days. Any codex now available under collection in the duty section of the menu. New entries for prominent terms and characters will be added to the codex as you progress through the main scenario quests. has some advice to share with you. As the former receptionist and sometimes intelligence gatherer of the science, allow me to offer you a word of advice. Do not expect juicy rumors to simply fall into your lap. Adventurers rely on gossip, and the best places to pick up information are taverns and markets. Presence, you only have a broad destination in mind. When you arrive in Tavernier, I suggest you explore your options at Mareed's Mayhain, the finest drinking establishment in Radzet's. Charming employees and will not only point you in the direction of the local tale-tellers, but also with you the tricks of loosening their tongues. Now I really must be getting back to running my boutique. Enjoy the journey, and may fair fortune find you. What's going on over there? Oh, Mirio? Hello? Come to Mareed's Mayhain. Well, I did not recognize you at first. Are you here alone? Let me find your table. It's beneath the bounty. Would you be speaking of the Sunken Treasure Vault? We have one regular, a historian in fact, who could tell you all about it. Ah, there he is, Professor Jolene. I thought I saw him come in. Although a somewhat private sort, Professor is quick to befriend those who share his fondness for the Mayhain's unique beverages. Offer him any drink from our selection, and he should happily share everything you need to know. Whatever you buy for him is on the house. By the way, if Mary Heeds found out I took coin from Tavernier's savior, she would have me scrubbing pots for a week. Yes. What may I do for you, my ears and friend? I want to ask about the Sunken Vault and Bounty. Oh, just a friendly chat. How about a drink? Certainly wouldn't say no to a drink, freely offered. Here we are, one of Mihrid's finest. Enjoy. How lovely. Bottoms up. I'll empties the cup in a single pull. very kind of you, but I know when I'm being softened up. What is it that you want from me? Oh, chasing down that old tale, are you? It does seem to appeal to the adventurous at heart. Now where to begin? I assume you've heard of Al-Zadal. He was Khan of Ori tribe, which sailed to Tavernier from the mainland, and a key figure in the history of Razatan. Decision to aid the Arcasadora is what ultimately won them the war against the Gajazura, just allowing her predecessor to lay the foundation for this thriving city-state. The truly fascinating stories, however, concern his grandson, Al-Zadal III, who is known for his deeds as a satrap at Razatan in early days. Some attest that this man traveled to another world entirely and returned with glittering riches. Others that he brokered an alliance with a certain Wern of the First Brood. You mean Vitra? And there's a tale of a Sunken Vault, the one you seem most curious about. According to this legend, Al-Zadal III claimed a small island somewhere in the middle of the bounty. There he built a structure reaching clear to the bottom of the sea. A deep secret storehouse, and locked all his worldly wealth within. In the centuries since, whenever a natural disaster or hardship befell Razatan, folk would remember the tale of the hidden treasure. Hardy souls would set out to claim their fortune, but precious few ever made it home. Would you like to hear more? Apologies, I have a slightly tickle in my cup. It appears to be empty. Maybe another round for the professor. I see if we've reached an understanding. You're a sharp one, adventurer. Another for the professor. Oh, today was a splendid day to visit the Mayhane. Where were we? Those who did return from seeking the treasure vault refused. FFXIV refused to speak of what they saw. Did this discourage others? Nay, quite the opposite. Such accounts only serve to feed the legend, and the golden lure grew stronger than ever before. He reminds me of something Hazamas was saying. Hazamas, a follower of Connoisseur of Spirituous Protocols. Yes, he is. Anyway, he was saying that one of his acquaintances went after the church himself. Hasn't been seen since he set sail, I hear, but he did have no, I can say no more. You seem a generous sort, and what kind of man would I be to encourage what is clearly a foolhardy quest? If my words sent you to your death, I could never live with myself. I am no stranger to peril. Is that so? Perhaps if it's your turn to tell a tale, then. What manner of dangers have you faced? The very edge of existence. From anyone else, I'd struggle to believe it. But I recognize you now. You're the hero of the final days. A drink. I need another drink to settle my nerves. Mihil. More of the same, if you please. As you wish, but this one is on your coin, Professor. Jahil drains yet another cup dry. Anyway, you being who you are, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to share a little more. Tish, friend of Azamah's. He was desperate to buy a treasure map, one which showed the way to the entrance of the vault. Seems he could only get it from some merchant. Whatchamacallit his name? But if I forget, let's drink a toast to you, my best friend, Michiel. More drinks. Signal for water. Give him some water instead. Yeah, give him some water. Your drinks, eh? Marvelous, I am parched. John goes down the cup of water. That was water. Did you tell her to bring me water? Just that's probably for the best. It's very kind of you, really. My head will certainly thank you in the morning. I mean, I seem to have overindulged. I am put in my mind of the words of Master Jalzon. Be wary how much of the drink you swallow, lest it swallow you. Forgive me, I will subject you no more of these unseemly antics. If you want to speak with Azama, well, as I said, we share a taste for the Mayhem's fine spirits. He probably came in as we were talking. I wish you fortune in finding your fortune. We'll need to locate a man by the name of Azama. Alright. Where the heck is this Azama person? He's right there, by where every single other player are. It's easy to figure out where he is, because the main quest, because the update just came out, everyone's just going straight doing the main quest, right? So you know exactly where the heck the NPCs are. Yes. Azama, and who might you be? Important person. All true, I'm afraid. My friend took a ship out in search of Azalda's legacy, and I've been watching for his sails ever since. I tried to dissuade him, of course, but he refused to listen. All he could talk about was finding that vault. That look in his eyes, I knew it wasn't common gold or jewels he lusted after. He was hunting Azaldal's III's otherworldly horde, and his ambition would not be denied. I see it in you too, that appetite for the mysterious and the unknown. But I'll not attempt to turn you from your path. I know too well the futility of that endeavor. I will tell you what my friend told me, how he convinced merchant. See, this merchant, one Zashal, I believe, is selling a map which shows the exact route. But my friend's purse was too light for its exorbitant price. With what meager wealth he had, he instead paid to learn that there are runes on the island, somewhere in the bounty, and within those runes hides the path of the vault. Truly intent on seeking his adult strategy, I put your affairs in order. I wish things were different. I do not believe my friend is ever coming home. We'll try to find your friend.
Please, Ashal, please! You must let me have that treasure map!
Is that the shawl from Final Fantasy XI? Or is that someone else?
What's all this about?
My mother and father were slaughtered by monsters. My baby sister, still too young to fend for herself. Can you spare us no kindness? So, you hope to find your fortune? And what? You expect me to surrender my wares for pity's sake? What have you to offer in payment? As I thought. Come back when you've more than rags to your name. This is no mere treasure map. It is a guide to the vaults of Arzadal III, one of the great satraps of Radzat-Han, and a direct descendant of Alzadal Khan.
A map to Alzadal's legacy?
So he says. A fake, I'd wager.
This is no fake. The parchment is marked with an arcane glyph of passage. You may find the ruins hidden in the bounty, but you won't be setting foot inside without this in your possession. A priceless artifact it is, discovered amongst the rubble in the aftermath of the final days, and lovingly restored by yours truly. This map is the key to fabulous riches, and I'll be the king of fools to simply give it away. Be glad I am no such king, boy. Your scrawny-eyed had never returned with that treasure alive.
Oh, cruel fate! Why must you tempt me with wealth I am powerless to claim? How I shall envy the one who purchases that precious map! Whatever they pay will be but pittance against the golden hoard they stand to uncover.
Justinian is here.
What of you, sir? Fighting man of your stature would surely relish the challenge of recovering Alzadal's lost fortune.
A fortune, you say?
If I had but the strength to seize that treasure, my starving sister would never want for food.
I'll take it. Will this cover the price?
It's all an act, does it?
Well met, my friend. Someone is dressed for adventure.
Of course, I'm always dressed for adventure.
But why Favner of all places? Knowing you, I suspect there's more to your plans than sightseeing and shopping.
How did you know?
Ruins beneath the bounty. Curious. And here I've acquired a map to just such a site.
Yeah, I know, I saw you buy it.
With that sale, I do believe I've earned the rest of the day off. Thank you for your patronage, sir, but if you'll excuse me.
You needn't mind us.
And now I've fleeced one of the heroes of the final days. Pray the sisters were looking elsewhere.
And now I fleeced one of the heroes of the final. Oh, I knew it. This was a scam, was it? Estinian just got scammed. Estinian, you just got especially scammed. It's a fake map, is it?
This map may or may not be genuine. Either way, we'll need a ship to find out for sure.
Seems so eager to be underway. I never took you for a treasure hunter.
Lest you misunderstand, I seek the treasure not for myself. If such a fortune truly exists, then it could help ease the struggles of those who lost their loved ones in the final days. I hope to do for Thavnir what you and Alphino did for the Alamegans when you recovered the Mad King's trove. Come now. You know Alphino needs little encouragement when it comes to recounting the tales of your shared exploits. Speaking of precocious lads, that boy in the bazaar was clearly an accomplice of the merchant. Suppose his role was to draw the attention of the crowd and add weight to the merchant's bold claims. Transparent act for the most part. It was not all mummery. The need to provide for his sister rang true enough.
Oh, so that's why you bought it. You bought it even though it might be a fake map. Okay. Makes sense. I was like, why did you buy it then? No, he bought it even though it was a fake map, because he knew that the poor kid needed money.
Thus, if some portion of the profits end up in that waif's pockets, then I will consider it money well spent, whether the map leads us to the vault or not. You are coming along, yes?
I guess so. We're going treasure hunting. Naturally.
I thought as much. Now, let's see about securing a vessel.
Well, Crawl, I spoke of visiting town there at Vitro's request, right? Yeah. Well, he finally invited me to a feast and made his proposal. Once I was too full of Hanish delights to refuse, he wishes to train the radiant host in lance work. It's a tale for another time. What we need now is a merchant or a trawler with a ship fit to for the open seas. What's as a fisherman by trade, yes? We should head to Akiali and see if he can help us. Friends, what brings you to our humble village? You need a seaworthy vessel to seek these runes. I think it was your deeds which allowed us to return to fishing. I should think everyone would be glad for a chance to repay the favor. Here, I will have a boat stocked and ready for you in no time. You notice our little shadow. He's been following us since we left the city. We see you there, boy. Show yourself. Ah, it is you. Do you know how far out of our way we walked so that you'd not cross paths with some wild beast? I'm sorry, sir, but aren't you the heroes who saved Tavenir? You are. I know you are. I've gone and cheated you. I work with Shashal. You see, the map merchant, it's my job to play the pleading orphan and convince the crowd his wares are worth the price he asks. I'm ashamed of what I've done and beg for your forgiveness. If not for you, my sister and I would never have... we'd be... If I knew your game, and I paid the price willingly. A fortunate purchase, as it turns out, where my friend here was seeking those very runes. You're kind to overlook the wrong I have done you. But there's more you need to know. The map you bought is very real, as the island it shows. I heard Zeshal selling information to another customer. He told that man where he needed to search about the ruins, about the vault. And the man sailed out to find his fortune and never to return. Don't go alone to that place. You should have more friends with you, maybe even a whole army. I do not doubt the ruins hold danger, that I assure you. Between the two of us, there is little we cannot overcome. Because I cannot bear the thought of... You might need a hand moving the treasure. Now you've gone and made him cry. I did not. That was not my intention. Well, very well. Assuming we do find this treasure hoard, it may prove wise to have more hands along for carrying. Any ideas to whom to approach? The scions have scattered far and wide since our last gathering. Maybe Y'shtola? Tancred and Urenge? Alfino and Alice? Well, can I choose my comrade here? Okay, we could ask Y'shtola. We could ask Rehatia and Kryl. The choices. Or should we ask Alfino and Alice? Or Tancred and Urenge? Tancred would be good. He's a rogue, right? He could help us. Rehatia is a special. Kryl, maybe Y'shtola even. Maybe let's ask. You know, let's ask Tancred and Urenge, maybe. Tancred and Urenge, eh? Those two would answer our call certainly, but they left the Rising Stones with a definite task in mind. I would love to interrupt their self-appointed mission. Maybe Y'shtola. Y'shtola, huh? Her magics would be a welcome addition, aye, but I'm loath to interrupt her research. Perhaps we could ask a less prickly companion. Alfino and Alice? But Alfino's sister, were they not bound for Garlemald? They have far more important matters to attend to than delving for trinkets. Rehatia and Kryl, we haven't seen them a lot. Alright, Kryl may have our hands full of rebellion students, but if you reach out to Greha, he would surely leap at the invitation. Will that set your mind at ease? Yes, if that man is as strong as you, is he though? Strong, I mean? What is your name, boy? Murad, sir. Murad, your life is yours to live as you will. but I suggest you find a more honest trade if you truly wish to keep your sister safe. I'm not proud of what I do, but what choice do I have? We need to eat and everyone's too busy rebuilding their own lives to bother with two grubby orphans. Wait, boy. I didn't take this roundabout road just to see you end up in some creature's belly. Let me walk you back to the city gates. Thank you, sir. Call me Stinian. I'll leave you to recruit Garia. He'll be appreciate an invitation, that much more I'm sure. The call he was based in the Annex. Someone there ought to be able to point you in the right direction. Oh look, welcome back, Padules. What might the students do for you? I want to talk to Greya. He's in the main hall with Mistress Cryle. You've been holed up there for days.
Ah, Urgica, my good man. Would you be so kind as to...
Oh, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
I wish you had sent word ahead. I thought I was having visions for a moment there.
How's the restoration of the students coming along?
Slow and steady. Raha and I have been compiling old records of the students' activities. We located several accounts in the archives of Numenon and added them to the collection we recovered from the Isle of Vow.
And judging by the progress we've made thus far, sorting this pile will keep us occupied for days to come. But what brings you to the Annex, my friend? Surely you haven't come all this way just to watch us shuffle dusty papers around? The treasure vault of Alzadal III.
And you're looking for companions to join you on this expedition. I would dearly love to accompany you, of course, but I'm afraid I'm committed to another task. On the subject of which, I had hoped to ask for your assistance. Then again, it's not so urgent that it can't wait until you've returned. You should go, Raha. I'll stay here and mind the shop, as it were.
Are you sure? I'd hate to leave you short-handed.
I'm sure. Just try to be back before too many moons have passed.
Well, I guess we're off on another adventure already. Have you asked anyone else to come along? Then might I suggest we invite your Stola? Ever since the Scions disbanded, she spent most of her time cloistered within the Great Google Library, hoping to piece together a method to traverse the rift. It would seem, however, that whatever wisdom she sought there was not to be found. She arrived in Charlian the other day. We spoke briefly before she began her search of Numenor. Considering what you've told us of Alzadal's extraordinary feats, I do believe your Stola would be more than interested to hear what you have to say. Splendid! Then let us head to the archives at once.
Wait, before you go. I have another potential member to volunteer, if you've room to spare. Urianger. He sent the students a request for materials, you see. Treatises on the architecture of treasure vaults and the like. From what I can gather, the Loporrits are looking to make improvements to their own creation and wish to learn more about how we build things down here. So, why not take Urianger with you? Let him study Alzadal's legacy firsthand.
None can deny the benefit of seeing something with your own eyes. If our expedition leader has no objections, I say we extend Urianger an invitation once we've spoken with your Stola.
Safe travels, you two. But don't forget, I'd still like your help with that other matter I mentioned.
Right. Then it's off to the library. I've never known your Stola to doze off in the middle of research before.
Close my eyes for one moment. Ow! Ugh. How long have you two been here?
We just arrived.
Did you now? I must have been studying for 2-3 days straight before exhaustion finally claimed me. As you know, I've been researching ways to travel from the source to one of its reflections. Well, looking for hints at least. I don't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. So I've been skimming through the stacks, hoping to uncover even a partial mention of any similar feats in the past. A means to travel between worlds exists, and you can be sure I will find a way to employ it. So I promised Runa, but 'twould seem I've set myself a nigh impossible task.
You needn't be so hard on yourself. The leap I made with the Crystal Tower was not achieved in an afternoon. It was the culmination of a collective effort spanning generations.
Oh, you think me discouraged? I assure you, 'tis quite the opposite. A daunting challenge and the time to sink my teeth into it. I feel like a fresh-faced student again.
A scholar in her element.
Indeed. Was there something else you wish to ask of me? Alzadal is no minor figure in Harnish history, and much is known about his family. But this is the first I've heard of a descendant surviving a trip to another world. If those tales are true, then he may have left behind some clue as to how it was accomplished. An invitation to delve into one of the world's lingering mysteries. As if I could refuse. And whence do we embark upon this expedition?
Akyali, by ship. But before that, we thought to extend an invitation to Urianger as well. He was in Thalmazane, last we heard.
Then by all means, let us recruit him, and be on our way.
Our illustrious champion. Cloaked in the mantle of the common explorer, fame set aside in thy pursuit of simple adventure. I am told a new expedition is in the offing.
It's good to see you well.
And thee. As ever, thou art the picture of strength.
You've been keeping yourself busy, I trust?
True to our plan, Thancred and I embarked upon a pilgrimage of sorts, with an eye for gauging the state of those lands through which we passed. Our travels were interrupted, however, by a request for aid from our befurred lunar allies. As you may recall, the Loporrits had been seeking new purpose for the moon, another role through which it might serve to benefit mankind. The Forum hath been working to advise them in this endeavor, but I return to offer mine own counsel.
And this has what to do with treasure vaults, exactly?
Ah, you have learned of my predicament from Mistress Cryle. I know not whence they acquired such knowledge, but the Loporrits now stand convinced that adventurers delight in treasure hunts. Thus, with their newly built wonderland of riches and mystery, do they hope to entice all manner of daring delvers to the moon. So earnest and innocent was their desire to bring joy to the world that I found myself powerless to refuse them my cooperation. But what of you, my friends? Why are you come to Labyrinthos? Fascinating. This is indeed a most fortuitous opportunity. I should be honored to accept thine invitation. How long has it been, I wonder, when last our actions were not impelled by fate or desperation?
Aye. Though I cherish the Scion's accomplishments, 'tis pleasant to not have the weight of the world upon our shoulders for a change.
Counting Estinian, we number 5 now, yes? Without knowing what traps or perils await unwary feet, we may be wise to refrain from recruiting others.
I agree. Between us, we should have the skills to handle whatever situation may arise. Shall we be on our way?
What, no time to spare a word for the grizzled old bard?
All is well, I trust?
A wasted trip, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to catch up with a former mentor while you parleyed with the rabbits, but it seems our paths were not to cross. That's because we didn't travel by experimental aetherite. It's astounding what a lack of nausea does for one's sense of well-being. In any case, as we made our way around Ilzabard, we saw that much of the continent was in various stages of chaos. A certain amount of disorder is to be expected. The final days are over, and the people no longer have a common threat binding them together. That's the thing with these fledgling troubles, eh? You need to keep an eye out, lest they mature into full-grown headaches. So, for what reason have so many esteemed personages seen fit to gather? Beneath the waters of the Bounty, you say? I see you've already stolen away my traveling partner with the promise of unexplored ruins and scholarly glory.
Nay, 'tis not for mine own indulgence, but rather the fulfillment of my commitment to the Loporrits.
Of course.
And if you have a Stinian rounding out your group, you'll likely...
Feeling left out? I could put in a good word for you, if you like.
We may have been released from our obligations, but I'll never be free of that merciless wit of yours, will I? In all seriousness, it is best I sit this one out. Too many former scions consorting with one another might be seen as a cause for concern in certain quarters. I'll return to my usual reconnaissance and scout out the situation in the Far East. Feel free to share if you come across any interesting revelations. Till we meet again.
Shall we also hasten our departure? Sir Estinian will wonder what hath become of us.
Where's the quest? Oh, around here. Okay, right here. Obviously, when the new quest comes out, you just follow the people. They all stand near the NPCs. I sent you to recruit Greyha, and you can return with an entire survey party. Hope Matsai's boat is sturdy enough to carry us all. What I mean is, we are grateful for the use of one of our precious fishing vessels. More than glad for the chance to provide it. I asked it only that you take care of the steer, clear of the reefs and the shallows there. Aye, we will keep an eye out. Oh, there's pancakes. Nice. I like some pancakes. XP bonuses. Okay. Should I take... I'll just take some silver piece. That's the legacy. It was created by the League of Legend of Al-Zadal III. Confess, I am somewhat embarrassed that Talos' journey to another world escaped my notice. It'd be more than simple folklore. What of the treasure he supposedly brought back? This undersea vault may hold relics from another reflection. My friends, we should temper our expectations. The map does promise ruins, but beyond that, we know not what we will find. Not until we find it, aye. So let us dispense of the conjecture and set sail for the vault. To the vault we go. who should I pick? Yeah, let's go with that. Register.
I stand ever ready.
No, don't die, Graham. I'll heal you.
This will hurt.
Allow me.
You underestimate me!
Hold still. Hold still.
underestimate me!
Allow me.
Alright, let's go. Come on, Breakout.
You underestimate me!
Allow me. Hold still.
Oh fuck, what was that mechanic? Okay, Adam, let's try to learn this boss.
hold back!
You underestimate me!
Hold still. Something special for you.
There we go. That was an interesting boss. $575. About $580, right? Okay.
You underestimate me!
The heck is that thing?
Allow me.
Armored chariot. Okay.
I will end this farce.
Hold still.
You underestimate me!
I will not hold back.
What the fuck? How the heck did that work? Let's try this again. Okay, it reflects on the mirrors. Interesting. Shit.
Special for you.
Away with you.
You underestimate me!
Allow me.
Okay, so you have to keep watch over the mirrors, because these are your reflected beams. Okay. That's an interesting mechanic. Makes the hard pretty fire hard. Shit. That boss has some interesting mechanics, that's for sure.
Hold still. Allow me.
New material, nice. Look at all this gold.
Hold still. Hold still. Hold still.
There's the boss, dungeon boss. Give me the treasure coffer. Give me the treasure coffer. All this gold. All this gold. Love all this gold in this dungeon, man. Look at all this. Look at all this gold I found. It's gold. Rich. Look at all this gold. Happy Hulu, I'm ready. Dungeon boss, let's do this. What is this? We were spinning around like Beyblades. Move out of the spikes. Stay there. Okay. Oh shit. No, I'm dead. Ooh, that was close.
This will hurt.
away with you!
What have we here?
'Tis not unlike a Harnish alchemical furnace in design.
Well, there is one way we might find out.
Stop! You mustn't touch it.
Vritra! Oh, my apologies. Should I continue calling you Varshan?
You may address me as you wish. My nature is no longer a secret. Still, this is not a setting I imagined for our reunion. Surely you've not entered these ruins as common looters.
Would that we could deny your accusations, but I fear you're not far from the truth.
Great Vritra, might we beseech thee to explain the nature of this strange contrivance?
It was crafted by our alchemists at my behest, for the purpose of sealing something away.
Sealing what away exactly?
Perhaps I should simply show you.
Still is like, nice.
I have lifted the seal, if only for the moment, by an authority only I possess.
A planar fissure?
No, my friend. Small though it may be, this is a functioning gate into the void.
A void gate, nice. And it's intact too. gates and fissures are much the same thing in practice, in the sense that both allow passage between the source and the 13th. The difference in terminology refers to the circumstances of their correlation. Fissures incidental tear in the fabric between worlds, whereas a void gate is the product of deliberate action. This is the latter, judging an elaborate mechanism put in place to control it. To think that our search for material riches would lead to this priceless discovery. That swirling emptiness, it puts me in mind of an old friend, not to mention old foes.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Meracidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities. In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Ashdaya. We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength. I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Allag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure. It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale was not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used a simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of voidsent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed. It was but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Radzat and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
I remember when Nero turned purple.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the first brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course. I wish only to forget the rest.
I wonder, are we gonna go to the 13th one day? That would be pretty cool. We technically did go to the 13th during the... We technically did go to the 13th during the Crystal Tower raid in ARR. So imagine not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate as one of might gate. No persistency. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, I keep duplicate dark art in on hand for such eventualities. In case we should return to Rezatsan. Also, maybe you should use some of this gold to rebuild Rezatsan. We'll discuss the Voidkey further. First, I must attend to the matter of the Vault Sentinels. Mr. Struens have no doubt informed you. Captain Kulu has been reduced to much of scratch. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed. It's posted along with some few lesser constructs. The Tomb Murders? Fiends born of the Tower of Zod? Sister, do not tell me a blasphemy yet. Roam's free. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. With that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now I believe you had questions. A few in fact, but I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes. Which is why I saw it sealed with a alchemically forged lock. Warded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. True, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. The bloody little door you speak leads to an abyss, teeming of unspeakable horrors. Said in its current state, it would emit only the lowliest of void scent. From this side, no man would be able to pass through. Oh man, I should think Alphinaud would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul. Yet you succeed in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your simulacrum to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliance, alchemist. I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it. But instead, I bade them devise the means to control it. After much experimentation to accomplish the impossible, a method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. The process has long been since forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Ajada, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus has the gate lain dormant for years and uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th has made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. Ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a floodgate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken and the doorway severed from its connection to the void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another void sent, but such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the bounty gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister. I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place, my duty is here now. I meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? To see if the legends were true? As you have seen, the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to that trove for years, little by little. The time has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. Then we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? We'll make no attempt to open it, of course. Hey, you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. But I conjure thee in my Thai study, but the Lobrits will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave to you. I must be after Charlian as well. Mr. Kyle was eager to speak with you about the request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able to. Farewell for now. I can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. You may now undertake the Chronicles of a New Era quest series. Myths of the Realm. Speak with the fresh-faced student at the Baldacion Annex to accept the first quest. Yes. The difficult part in all this will be deciding how to best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Of course. Thank you. Adios. Yes, and I are in this together. I will follow her example. Quest complete. Meanwhile, elsewhere. This isn't the 13th, isn't it? This is on the other side of the Void Gate. That has to be. Yeah, that has to be on the Void Gate, on the other side of the gate. What is this? Who is this? Wait, is this Xenos? Who is this? Who's this dude? Who's this guy? I assembled the breaches of a gate, but was not instigated from this side. It was thrown open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. Opportunities upon us, at the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate she who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by the covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Let her come. I will drown the world and watch this flesh and gasp for breath. This fleshling gasp for breath in her final moments. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back on our struggles beneath this sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. This time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Oh, the Void Sands are trying to save the world. Is that what's happening? The Void Sands on the 13th wants to save their star. Because their star has been destroyed by the Ashians, right? Okay, now this is getting interesting. The Voids want to save their star. Okay. Talk to Varshan again. Is this guy dressed up as Sonic the Hedgehog? Dude, is that supposed to be a Sonic the Hedgehog outfit? I just noticed this guy here. Is that supposed to be Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, that has to be Sonic the Hedgehog, isn't it? Okay. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from our monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with this satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. You are to visit Akali in the Eldermont. Speak with Matsuya and his people and listen to their grievance. Yesterday I bid you to the same at Pelika's stand. Alright. Helping the people. Yay. Matsuya, what do you want? Oh, Midos, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat, then. Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Calzal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but I sell a few here and there. It's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best that we can. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Tavernier, then you must try my special armor, lassie. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost you, Wanda? Normally I part with 3 bottles, at the generous price of 19,800 gil. But for you, I am willing to go as low as an even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing. Stealing at what price? Yeah, you're the one who was with this Pierre Tarting fellow, aren't you? Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Apparently, we may as well that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. I mean, tea is good, right? Do you need any help? How far is the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? Trade routes are open once more, now that the danger has passed, certainly. No small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the storm short term. Add to this, the sailors we lost in the final days. It's little wonder the flow of export is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Cazal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done. God's rest his soul. Let's talk back to Vashron and tell him about what people need. I'm on Rise's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the side can be startling, to say the least. There are few places I can enter comfortably without the risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when the refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yedlilmald. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like. I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs, for the most part. Palakistan has weathered the disasters better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to the foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between compared to our best years. The whiff of lone stone leaving Tavernier has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. I must identify any obstacle to the flow and trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Achiali and Yeldomald? See, without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yildimald. I'm reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over, so many lives lost. I have grief to drown, and if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. Patio Sustain, I will consider the perspective you've brought me, and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in my attendance when I announced a proposal to assemble functionaries.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadar's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. Made aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Kalzar's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Takes a village.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Thing with Kalzal seems appropriate.
A fitting candidate. Kalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Narad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
Thank you for putting forth Kazal's name. Those whose lives he enriches will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Y'shtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Y'shtola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. I thought the sap shop would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been oiled cogs of the administration since before I have won assumed the office. You understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the First. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alak's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the Cloud of Darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
So much for taking it easy.
Since when were you one for the quiet life? Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzat Han, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a voidsent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made voidsent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made voidsent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Restricted section of Doomhamon.
Yes, it may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Cactuar Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Secure permission of the firm. This, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to approach the matter on our behalf. Let's call it Montiche. Category has defense training core after all. Quite a steam one, Dad. What may I do for you? Significant Industries caller, we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Newfound's restricted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? The plot is newfound sense of propriety, yet on all this wide world of comparative serenity, What so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would be surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Daymere has lain dormant in Charlian's archives for many centuries. If you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That's in fact precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To the method of traversing the rift. For one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and taught endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future, and yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. Let's call it worthy of the name wouldn't force and open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward. Haha, marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. After hearing the whys and wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request to the forum's consideration. Although your petition would be better received if you also had support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Fortuno, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children, the most treasured comrades. I would set us to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to the Levier estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. Appetite for knowledge is every bit insatiable as yours, I'd wager, so if you could cede your weight and to indulge in no man's curiosity. How may I be of service? Come to speak, Master Fortuno. Is he home by any chance? Yes, your master is in resident. I shall inform him that he has guests. Very well, Emilians. Would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. We have some matter of import to discuss. Pray proceed, you have my full attention. I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Scholar Montagen expressed much the same sentiment, I assure you. I will not attempt to circumvent this firm's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed a rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty, while betraying the longing in his heart. This is no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones, spent years in research to prevent it. Surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share our experiences and your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The From must still be convinced. I'll add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldition Annex. What did the Forum decide? Put it bluntly, Mr. Batoya has burned some bridges here in Charlion and salted the earth for good measure. It became clear that her student was the bitch in your question, while no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. Served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. It's wonderful news. Thank you for both of you for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I'm sure you were well aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you good day. Yeah, we're the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye, but that very stoicism is exactly what Charlotte needed to guide it through not one but two exoduses. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed of any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes. Now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Damer's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. I'm gonna stop here for today, and I'll continue this next time on FF14. See ya next time. That's been a pretty long one. Newfound Adventures.